Hey everyone, it's my first time making a YouTube video. I made some when I was a lot younger, but this is my first edition of my own version of my sharing my journey with you guys. So I think the reason why I decided to make videos and share my journey is because I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube from lockers and people who've had locks for a while. Some very dope people. I would name drop you all, but for now, I'll just talk about myself just because I'm new to this. So, like I said, I watched a lot of videos, and from what I see, no disrespect to anyone, but for the most part, while everybody is different, everyone's journey is different, everyone's hair is not comparable to one another, it seems that most of the journeys are kind of consistent with the messages and consistent with the ways that they started and just kind of traditional. So, with me, what's different is that I actually began my locks with permed hair. I know a lot of people who make videos or have made videos, they say that they don't say it's impossible, but they discourage it. And I'm not saying that I'm encouraging it, but I personally had people around me that had started that way. And me, myself, I had a perm for 12 years. I started relaxing my hair at 12 with the permission of my mom. I went to the salon and got it relaxed, and I've been wearing a relaxer up until 24, which was last year. So I'm now 25. I'll be 26 by the end of this year. I started my process to get locks last year in September 2017. So, interesting story was that it was Hurricane Irma. I'm here in Florida, Orlando, Florida, and we get hurricanes, during hurricane season. And we had Hurricane Irma come through last year, and my mom and I and my boyfriend, we were shut in for the weekend and kind of bored, just watching TV once the power restored. Or really, to be honest, before the power went out, actually, we were watching TV. And I have been thinking about doing this for a while. I had talked to a few people about it, like my best friend. And I think, my mom maybe. My mom and my two sisters, I'm the middle of three girls. They were already locking or in the process of locking, and they had all been natural for a couple years, if not longer than that, as a collective. I'm saying a collective group. I think my mom and older sister were natural for years, and then my younger sister had joined after a year, a couple years prior to me. So everyone was natural. I was only one relaxed. I did not make the decision to do it because the relaxer beat me. I still had long hair, still had nice hair. Over the years, I was able to sustain nice hair. I did fluctuate in lengths, but that was really due to me taking over doing my hair versus my mom. I did go away to college in Tallahassee, so I had to find other people to do my hair. And of course, once a lot of different hands get into your hair, the hair kind of reacts to that by breaking first, and then once it's a steady hand, kind of growing with the care that's being taken. So back to how it got started. So during the hurricane shut-in, my mom went ahead and agreed to do 2-strand twists for me. Again, I still had fairly all permed hair. I mean, my roots weren't permed, but I can't even remember right now how long it had been since I had a relaxer at that time. I will try to look back. I do keep journals and diaries or whatever I have since I was 12, so maybe I can find it somewhere and share that. But yeah, so she did 2-strand twists for me. I'll show pictures of that at a different time. And it came out nice, but it was relaxed looking, kind of thin, still long, still great length on it and everything like that, but they didn't look at all like locks. So I found a loctician who agreed to interlock my roots while I had the twist, and we originally agreed that as the hair grew, I would just be cutting, or she would be cutting, the permed ends or permed hair, whatever didn't, fall into a lock or try to attempt to a lock, I guess it would be cut. So that was the original plan. However, she did mention to me that there were some other methods that she could do. And one of them, which I've heard a few people say on YouTube or talk about, not a lot of people, but I did hear it, so I was happy about that. But the method that she ended up using for me was backcombing. So on June 2nd, 2018, which was just a little over a month ago, or I guess about a month and a half ago, she backcombed my entire head. And backcombing is like a teasing method that's used for people with finer hair, or like other ethnicities who have finer hair, to achieve locks. And it's a way to form a lock by teasing the hair. I'm no expert on that, but it was a long process. It took 13 hours, and once it was done, it was like instant locks, basically. So I can also pull some pictures and show that transformation as well at a later time. But it was like instant locks, and I was just kind of like amazed. And I still had kind of like ends that were permy looking, just whatever she couldn't get completely back home, because it would get to like a budded area, and then it would be like a little bit of a flyaway or like a straight piece on the end. So she did trim most of those pieces and things like that. But there's still a little bit of trimming that she's done. So that was on June 2nd, and so that was really when I kind of crossed over, I guess, into the realm of actually seeing my hair as locked, and now in the process of locking. And basically on this previous Saturday, which was July 14th, it was another step for me, because it was the first time I got my hair maintained by palm rolling. And it was a really great experience. I really enjoyed it. I love the way my hair came out once it was done. It was very fresh. I did do some physical activity because I was used to the interlocking, and I kind of caused a few of them to slip, like as far as my retwist. I did try to do a little bit of damage control, but again, it's a learning process and a process in general. So now that I know how different it is with the palm rolling, I can just do things differently. And I did reach out to some other people who told me just getting like a stocking cap or something to hold the retwist in place would help not cause it to slip. So yeah, but it's not really the best lighting in here or whatever, but I mean, I'm loving this whole process. Kind of like some other people, my process is not maybe as traditional as what I've heard from some people on YouTube, but something that I do have in common with a lot of people who are locking or in the lock community is that it's been a good thing for me, because it's allowed me to begin embracing blackness. And I've always kind of transitioned for a while to being like pro my race. I'm not anti anything, of course. I love all people, but being very pro my race and just being proud to be black. And I did end up going to an HBCU. Shout out to FAMU, my alma mater. That's where I got my bachelor's degree from. Currently a master's student at UCF here in Orlando.